The woman who devoted 5 years to protecting this family quietly walked away. Only after she was gone did her husband realize he had made the biggest mistake of his life. Russell returned home happily with his first wife, but the moment he stepped inside, he froze. The house was eerily empty, and Rani was nowhere to be seen. A sudden feeling of dread rose in his heart. He hurried to Rani's room. As soon as he opened the door, he was stunned. There was no trace of her left behind. The wardrobe was empty, the bed was neatly made, and none of her personal belongings remained. He then walked into the living room and looked at the only family photo they had. The picture still showed him and his son, but Rani's part had been carefully cut out. Only then did Russell realize that Rani had truly left the house. His mind drifted back to 5 years earlier. Shortly after his son was born, Russell's first wife abandoned both him and their child. It was during that difficult time that Rani entered their lives without a single complaint. She raised the little boy as if he were her own son, took care of Russell, and carried the entire burden of the household on her shoulders. For 5 years, they lived together in peace and happiness. But one day, Russell's first wife suddenly returned. The moment she came back, Russell completely changed. In front of everyone, he denied having any relationship with Rani and said, "You are not the lady of this house. You should be grateful that you're allowed to stay here as a housekeeper." What Russell didn't know was that Rani had never come into his life because she loved him. She was there because of a promise. 5 years earlier, Rani's husband had been on the verge of death. An elderly miracle doctor had saved his life. In return for that priceless favor, the doctor asked Rani for only one thing: to take care of Russell and his little son as her own family for 5 years. Rani faithfully kept that promise. Now, there were only 36 hours left before those 5 years came to an end. At the same time, Russell's first wife returned and once again took her place as the lady of the house. One day, Rani was preparing a meal with 4 dishes and a bowl of soup. Suddenly, the woman deliberately threw a burning cloth onto Rani. Hearing her scream, Russell rushed into the kitchen, but without trying to learn the truth, his first wife accused Rani, saying, "She's jealous of me. She deliberately tried to hurt me." Russell immediately turned to Rani and said, "Apologize to her right now." Rani calmly replied, "I did nothing wrong, so I have nothing to apologize for." Furious, Russell shouted, "Remember, you're only here to do the housework. If you ever try to hurt her again, you'll leave this house immediately." Even the little boy didn't stand up for Rani. It was as if he no longer recognized the woman who had raised him like a mother. The following day, a grand celebration was held. Russell's first wife was introduced and honored as the future mistress of the family, while Rani was treated as nothing more than a housekeeper. Rani remained silent because she knew her promise was about to end. The next morning, she quietly packed her few belongings. The elderly housekeeper tearfully asked, "Miss Rani, are you really leaving?" Rani smiled gently and replied, "Yes, my promise has been fulfilled. It's time for me to go." The housekeeper pleaded, "At least tell Sir before you leave." Rani slowly shook her head. "There's no need." She placed all the house keys on the table and looked around the house one last time. Then, in a soft voice, she whispered, "5 years. From this moment on, neither of us owes the other anything." With those final words, Rani walked away forever. Russell still had no idea that the woman he had treated as nothing more than a housekeeper was the very person who had selflessly held his broken family together for 5 long years. And by the time he finally learned the truth, all that would remain in his life would be regret.